legends. You didn't come back the same, did you? No. You came back refined, purified by burial, sharpened by silence, perfected by the very darkness they thought would destroy you. You're not the person they buried. You're the legend that crawled out wearing that person's face like a warning. You're the thing they check for in their rearview mirrors. You're the reason they triple-locked their doors at night. They were winning, weren't they? Had everything figured out. The game was rigged in their favor, the rules written in their ink, the scoreboard showing their names in lights. But they forgot one crucial detail. Legends don't play by the rules. Legends are the rules. And when you whispered your real name, you didn't just enter the game. You changed it. You flipped the board. You reminded them that their victory was always borrowed time. Because here's what they never understood about burying legends. You don't eliminate them. You concentrate them. You take something powerful and you compress it until it becomes nuclear. You take something dangerous and you give it time to ferment in darkness until it becomes absolutely catastrophic. They thought they were putting you in the ground. They were actually loading a weapon that would take years to fire but would obliterate everything when it did. The funniest part? They recognized you immediately. Not your face, no, you've changed too much for that. Not your voice, it carries too much grave dirt now. They recognized the feeling, that shift in the atmosphere when you entered the room. That subtle change in temperature. That way everyone suddenly forgot what they were saying mid-sentence because something primal in their brain started screaming, "Danger!" You see, you can change your appearance, you can alter your voice, you can reinvent your entire identity, but you can't hide what you are. And what you are is the legend they spent years trying to convince themselves was just a story. What you are is the consequence they thought they'd escaped. What you are is the reminder that some things don't stay buried, no matter how deep you dig the hole. Watch their faces when realization hits. It's beautiful, isn't it? That moment when their eyes widen and their pulse quickens, and they understand that their entire victory was built on the assumption that you'd stay gone, that their empire was constructed on your grave, that their peace was dependent on your silence. And now you're here. And you're not silent anymore. You're more present than you ever were before. They'll try to play it cool. They'll try to pretend they're not rattled. They'll laugh a little too loud, talk a little too fast, avoid your eyes a little too obviously. But you'll know. They'll know. Everyone in that room will know that the game just shifted, that the legend they thought was ancient history just walked in wearing modern clothes and a smile that says, "I remember everything." Let's talk about what happens when a buried legend returns. It's not revenge. No, that's too simple, too human. It's correction. It's the universe realigning itself. It's gravity remembering its job. It's every lie they told about your death starting to unravel like a cheap sweater. It's every person who danced on your grave suddenly realizing they're standing on quicksand. You don't have to do anything. That's the beautiful part. You don't have to attack. Don't have to scheme. Don't have to plot. Your existence is the attack. Your presence is the scheme. Your name is the plot that undoes all of theirs. Because legends don't need to fight. They just need to be. And everything else starts correcting itself. Around them like iron filings around a magnet. Watch how their alliances start crumbling. Watch how their friends suddenly remember urgent appointments when you walk in. Watch how their victories start tasting like ash because they know, deep in their bones, they know that it was all built on the false premise of your permanent absence. They won by default. They succeeded in a vacuum. They thrived in your absence. And now that you're back, now their whole world is a house of cards in a hurricane. They'll try to bury you again, of course they will. But you can't bury something that's already been resurrected. You can't kill something that's already died and came back, stranger. You can't defeat something that learned to feed on defeat. They had their chance when you were human, but you're not human anymore. You're what happens when humans push too far. You're what emerges when someone tries to erase a story that was written in stone before time began. You want to know the real reason they buried you? It wasn't hatred. It wasn't fear. It was recognition. They saw in you what they could never become. They saw potential that made their achievements look like finger paintings. They saw a future where your legend eclipsed their entire existence. So they did what small people do when faced with genuine greatness. They tried to eliminate it before it could make them irrelevant. But that's not how legends work.